But where will it all coalesce is something I'll let you folks kind of figure out. Each one probably comes out in a different way, and I have my opinion. But I think that's food for thought. Well,
So in this context of what you said,
yes.
how do you think ORM game is going to be played?
Pardon?
ORMs.
Yeah.
The ORM layer.
Yes.
How is it going to play out?
Actually, I am not familiar enough about the ORM layers to actually speak intelligently on it. I mean, the old ORMs, as I understand it, because I am familiar enough with object relational mapping very heavily. I've done a lot of work on that in the early days. What happened then was there was a relational database, and then a whole bunch of object stuff started showing up. So what the relational databases did was they basically produced this object relational kind of concept. So they would do, I forgot even the name. Sorry, it's been such a long time. So there are all these features which Oracle added. Oracle bought, the Informix bought Illustra. Oracle added the features. DB2 added the features and whatever it is, right? And then these new applications could now be handled by so-called relational databases with extensions. They were all toy applications in my mind, because I worked in that. I built a product there which kind of failed. None of the stuff actually was even important, because Moore's law was enough to take care of it. Just wait for 2 years and be twice as fast and then fine. That's all you wanted. Not so with the internet, right? With all the stuff which happened in the last 8 years, it is not growing at Moore's law pace. It's going 10 times the pace of Moore's law, because the people already exist. Okay, the 6 billion people are already there. The only thing that hasn't happened is stuff hasn't been delivered to them. That is already accelerating, right? So this is not Moore's law. This is like going 10x faster than that. And then all this stuff will fail. Because then at that point you go like, well, I'll just do object. Yeah, fine. Spend 2 years doing it. By then you're like, they're like 6x away. And you're never catching up. That's when new solutions happen, right? This is not new, right? Every technology comes, and then the SSD stuff has dropped. The flash memory and the writes and reads, there's like real technological changes here. There is real user changes here. They're all kind of converging into saying that the old databases don't work. This doesn't mean that the old databases are bad. Please don't get the wrong impression. They are not bad at all. They are fine for what it is that they were doing, and they're still fine, and they'll still be fine. And Oracle, the whole relational database thing market will be like 30 billion or whatever in another 5 years. It doesn't matter. But the whole bunch of new stuff is coming, and that's relevant. And either you rewrite it, or maybe you merge the two. I don't know what's going to happen. It's just software, right? Some level. Suresh pointed out. The stuff has existed forever. And it will exist forever in some sense. So I would just pose this as a question to each of you, because I don't have the answers either. I'm still going through this myself. That's just like each of us are at the application level, at the system level, and so on. But I'm really excited, because I'm a database kind of person. I'm excited that this is happening. That's the only thing that, I would say is I do see a lot of changes, even in the whole how people laughed at me and Brian, my partner, when we were like a year and a half ago doing this, and everybody I talked to said like, don't do this. But that is not, now looking back, so that's the right thing to do. Please.
What's the footprint of this leaf? Can it be bundled on an Android machine?
The footprint is actually not high, but it is highly inadvisable to bundle it on the client, because that would be a different product, because we basically spend a lot of time, and we are very fast though. If you want to run a single user instance, yeah, it may work, but it's why? Yeah, it's not the purpose. Like an embedded database is what you're saying. We haven't done anything so smart that we're going to be so fast in that thing. That's all I can say. We're fast in a real server with SSDs and so on, and we could be fast in the client too, by luck, not because of design. You know what I mean? Because the processors are different. It's not like the same kind of processors don't exist. And we depend on a lot of that multi-core processors and so on. And I don't know how much of that is in the Android phone, for example, and how much memory you have, and It could still work out, but I personally wouldn't recommend it.
So what's the
I think it's very low because we are like very kernel programmers who wrote it. There's two of us, right? And one of them is a real-time RTOS programmer. So we haven't put any code in there which is yet just occupying space and doing nothing. It is not open source. Yeah, our product is the only product in the noSql space which is not open source. And for a good reason. We believe that it is cheaper to use Citrus Leaf to run your 24/7 service than any of the other competition that exists today. Open source is fine, but many of them are not at the level of MySQL. MySQL took a long time after Oracle and relational modeler thing to come to that point where you just put the MySQL thing there, cookie cutter, it works. And then if it doesn't work, you call a DBA who comes in, spends like a few hours, gets it working, and you're done. None of the open source, because this is all, remember that there is a whole bunch of experimentation happening with every one of these. And all of the open source projects, they're all very good in their own right, but they were all built for a specific purpose. They were not designed as a general purpose database. Cassandra came out of Facebook. Facebook itself doesn't use it for all of their needs. They use it for the inbox, but they don't use it for anything else. They use actually a huge MySQL-based system for a lot of the things that Facebook does. That's what I heard, at least. So, and then the similar thing with Voldemort, right? It's kind of dead now. It came out of LinkedIn. It kind of stopped, and nothing actually happened to it, and then it's fairly dead right now. And similarly, right? There's some other things like Redis which are more general purpose, but then they are just, they're starting from Memcache and moving, but they're also specific in some sense because they're trying to handle certain cases which Memcache doesn't do. Whereas at Citrus Leaf, we have kind of tackled it slightly differently. We said we're going to build a general purpose database, we're going to take all these requirements, we're going to deal with the SSDs, we're going to deal with the network clustering, we're going to deal with the asset, we're going to put all of this together as something, and then also make it a product which is well supported. And then when people pay for it, they find that they pay actually very little compared to for the cost of ownership. They actually save so much money that this is actually noise to them. Otherwise they wouldn't buy our stuff. Why would anybody buy it? You actually pay low and get more value, right? That's kind of what people want to do. Pay less and get more value, and then everybody pays. They just pay at that point. If you say you pay more to get more value, they go like, no, I'm not paying more at all. I want more value. Then I will pay. That's the basic contract you make is, I think, very simple business contract. It's true with everything, right? And I think it's true of this too. And until we can do that, I think we're fine. Yes, Citrus Leaf runs on the cloud. We actually run on pretty much, our requirements are very simple commodity hardware. We are basically simple networking based, TCP IP and so on. So we run on Amazon. In fact, many of our trials ran on Amazon. Amazon has its own issues. Amazon has no flash storage support. Amazon has a little bit of flakiness on the network. I don't know if you guys have realized if there are two machines you create in the same data center are slightly different. The kinds of heartbeat times we see between those vary widely, and that is not conducive to actually building a clustered database, even though we actually run on it. But I would not guarantee it for a 24/7 uptime for like 3 months. You'll have glitches maybe like